G'day. It's Nick here and welcome to another video from Wicked Wildlife. And with me here today we've got Slug, our inland taipan. And we wanted to have a bit of a talk today about whether or not snakes really do chase people. It's popped up a little bit in the media again lately with a photo of a little girl and a brown snake. So I thought we'll take our snakes out for a little bit of sun today and do a quick video on whether or not snakes do chase people, guys. So stay tuned. To put up some nest boxes or plant some trees, this is a good thing. Hello, this is Tully, our resident scrub fly. Well, the first thing, so whether or not snakes chase people is an argument that's basically taken place since the dawn of time here in Australia. And the vast majority of people will say yes, with the vast majority of snake catchers, etc., saying no, they don't. Now, I am not willing to say that snakes don't chase people. What I am willing to say is that there has never been a snake catcher or a zookeeper or a biologist, a toxicologist, who says they've been chased by a snake. So, as far as I'm concerned, there's two possibilities about this. The first one is that snakes see a bloke who looks like they know what they're doing and think, you know what, I'm not going to chase this guy. It's rubbish, isn't it? They can't tell the difference with me and you. So the other way to explain this, I think, is perception. What one person calls being chased, rightfully or wrongfully so, another person doesn't call being chased. Now, I think I can understand this middle ground fairly well, being somebody who spent their entire life playing with snakes and today spends the vast majority of my time working on a sheep property. I do understand both sides of the coin. However, when we talk about what being chased is a matter of question. When I think of something chasing somebody or something else, think National Geographic, think leopard lying in the bushes, chasing down impala across the Serengeti, keeping up with him turn for turn. Now, I have been in situations where a snake has lunged at me, and as a snake catcher, somebody who understands these animals, I look at that and think, you know what, I'm in his way, he's trying to get past me, he's basically trying to get me to get out of his way. What I haven't met is somebody who, 7 suburbs over, climbed a waterfall, crossed 3 creeks, and the snake is snapping at the rear tyre of their car. This doesn't happen. The other thing is, people talk about how far they've been chased, and unfortunately people have a terrible ability to judge distances, particularly where a potentially dangerous animal's involved. My favourite example is I used to do crocodile shows up in Queensland, and we had a crocodile that we knew for a fact was 4.3 metres long. Now, every day I would get this crocodile to follow me for a piece of meat and lie right up against the fence, and I'd ask the public to guess how big he was. Do you think anybody ever said 4 metres or 3.5 metres? Of course not. Every single person goes, oh, he got to be 4.5, he's got to be 5 metres, 6 metre crocodile. When we see an animal that in our mind is dangerous, we make it bigger. Just the same as if a snake follows us 4 or 5 strides, by the time we get to the pub, nobody wants to tell Macca that, this snake jumped at us and we wet ourselves. we were chased from one end of the paddock to the other, it killed 17 of our dogs and it's waiting at home for the missus. Things get exaggerated pretty quickly. Now, the other things we've got to think is if snakes do chase people, what's he going to do after that? He can't eat you. There is no snake in the country big enough to look at you and think, I can eat that. So he's going to bite you. That's the first thing people scream at me. And then what? Is he going to go to the pub and tell his friends? Like, he's got no gain to be made from it. There is no reason to. On top of that, what do you think happens to most snakes after they bite somebody? Do they get away? Generally, most of the snake bites I've heard of on farms and in country Australia, the snake ends up in 6 pieces in an esky on the way to hospital with them. So, if they're chasing people, how come they aren't all getting killed and we're not running out of snakes, guys? On top of that, if they chase people, we've got to think, do they chase dingoes and birds of prey and other snakes, all the things that they've evolved with since the dawn of time? Why do they only chase people? Now, assuming that they do chase people, on top of that we've got to think, well, think of any animal that's fast, that's designed to chase things or run away from things. you got cheetahs and dogs and horses and ostriches and all these long-legged animals. Slug here, she's got the name Slug for a reason. She got no legs. She's not going anywhere in a hurry. In fact, the fastest snake on Earth is the black mamba over in Africa, and he has been clocked at 20 kilometres an hour. Now, the average human, not the fastest, but the average human, we know can jog at about 24 kilometres an hour. Now, if there is a snake up your date snapping at your heels, you're probably going to muster an extra couple of Ks deep down there somewhere, The fight to survive is pretty primal. So, if they do chase people, we're doing pretty well so far, aren't we? Now, as far as all this goes, as you can see, I think whether or not snakes chase people is less a matter of do they chase people or do they not chase people. It's what entails being chased by a snake. You see, it's pretty inconsistent, and it seems to vary with how much experience you've had with snakes. So like I said, I refuse to say they do or they don't. But the proof is in the pudding, guys. Now, assuming they do, assuming they don't, either way, the fact is very, very few people are ever killed by snakes in Australia. Slug here, like I said, is the inland taipan, most venomous snake in the world, who is so far yet to cause 0 deaths. So, if they do chase us, I still think we need to be more worried about highways and cars and dogs and horses and all the things that really do pose a risk to human health, guys. Now, as always, there's plenty more YouTube videos. There's a couple here involving Slug already, talking about snakes, crocodiles, all sorts of cool things. So please, subscribe to our YouTube channel or check us out on Facebook. Our website's www.wickedwildlife.com. If you've got any questions or any snake experiences you want to share with us, guys, please shoot us a message. We're always happy to have more ideas for our videos coming up. And always, have a good one and take care.